The world of Los Santos in GTA 5 is huge and full of little secrets and details that many of us never even knew were there in the first place. It is, obviously, a game that begs replays, and people have been coming back to it again and again over the years, explaining its consistently ridiculous sales figures even now. So we know, thanks to its incredible quality, people don't really need any other reasons to immerse themselves in Los Santos again. However, here we have compiled a list of 15 of the best Easter eggs we've come across in the game. Looking at these, we definitely feel the urge to play GTA 5 once again, and we're sure you will feel the same as well. Serial Killer Scavenger Hunt. One of the best and most elaborate Easter eggs that can be found in Grand Theft Auto 5 is the one about Merle Abrahams, the serial killer who was obsessed with the number 8. You don't ever actually get to meet the infamous serial killer, but his records of his exploits are scattered all throughout San Andreas for keen-eyed players to follow. You can visit his grave, his house, and even the prison where he was held captive. UFOs. UFOs are collectively one of the most well-known Easter eggs in all of GTA 5. No, you don't get to go inside the UFOs, but just seeing those saucers flying lazily above the skies of San Andreas is a real treat. While you can't actually see 3 out of the 4 UFOs until you've completed every single in-game mission and side mission, one of those is actually viewable from the very beginning. Frozen Alien. Speaking of UFOs, you didn't think they flew all this way to our planet on autopilot, did you? Presumably, one of the aliens that inhabited and flew one of the 4 UFOs mentioned previously can be found in the opening minutes of the game itself. In the prologue, under the bridge, players can easily spot the alien in question frozen inside the river. And though you cannot break through the ice no matter what manner of weapon you use, you can gaze at the extraterrestrial wonder as much as you want. In-game Red Dead novel written by John Marston. For all of you Red Dead Redemption fans out there, and we're sure there are plenty, this one's a real treat. You can find a novel titled Red Dead written by an author named Jay Marston, as in John Marston, the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption for those who didn't know, or maybe Jack Marston, his son, in Franklin's house. This Easter egg isn't nearly as elaborate as some of the others in the games, but it's sure one that sticks out in our memory. Throwback to the Grove Street Trio. This one's hard to spot unless you're looking for it, especially on your first playthrough. Those who play GTA San Andreas are well acquainted with Grove Street, home of the popular game's protagonist, CJ. Riding past Grove Street in one of the missions in GTA 5, you actually see 3 well-known characters from GTA San Andreas, the aforementioned CJ, Big Smoke, and Sweet, all riding past you on bikes. It's a great throwback to a beloved game and one that makes your return to Grove Street that much sweeter. Mount Gordo. Based on a true story, this one's actually quite chilling and another one of GTA 5's most well-known Easter eggs. All you have to do to come across this Easter egg is go to Mount Gordo anytime between 11 p.m. and midnight, and you'll be able to see the ghost of a woman floating in the distance. She disappears if you get too close, but when she does, she leaves behind a one-word message, Jock, the name of her husband, who actually pushed her off the cliffs right to her death.
In West Vinewood, you can find 2 gnomes on the porch of a house having a pretty good time. Grand Theft Auto was originally going to be called Race and Chase. Mike Daly, who was one of the key guys behind the game, released a bunch of design documents of how the missions and the game would actually work. The game was originally going to be a top-down game where the player would take either the role of a cop or a criminal in different game modes that resulted in either police races or police chases. If you head over to the Vinewood Cemetery, you can find a wee Skye Terrier who walks through the graveyard. If you follow him, he walks up to a specific grave belonging to his owner that has some flowers next to it and just sits there. This is actually a reference to my home city in Edinburgh in Scotland, where there was a guy pass away and his dog still went to visit his grave, and the cemetery ended up building that dog a shelter next to his owner's grave where he guarded his old owner until the dog died. And the story was so heartwarming. In Edinburgh, they actually built a statue for Bobby and even named a pub after him. If you go AFK in GT Online and wait long enough, your character will actually do a line of coke. You'll see him sniffing it through one nostril and then rub it on his teeth afterwards. If you steal the SUV of the paparazzi during the Lacey encounter, they'll actually believe you're a famous actor and they'll start taking pictures of you. There's a brand of cigarettes in Grand Theft Auto 5 appropriately named Cancer. At the Pacific Bluff Cemetery, there's a bench in memory of Chris Edwards. This is actually a tribute to a graphic designer at Rockstar Games that passed away. The F word is said over 1,000 times through the main storyline of GTA 5. A YouTuber called The Mediocre Scott went through and counted each swear word. Fair play. There's actually very small insects in the game. Credit to Carlito Dorito for these HD screenshots. I've actually never noticed these the whole time that I played GTA on console. In Franklin's first house in Chamberlain Hills, there's actually a few naughty 18+ magazines next to his bed behind the fan. The Alpha Z1 has a skin called Play Outside, which is a reference to British TV show Come Outside. The plane is based off the one owned by Auntie Mabel. If you're a 90s British kid, you'll probably get this reference. When you switch to Trevor, there's a rare chance you can get a cutscene where he yells Scooter Brothers. This is a reference to a viral GTA 4 video where Brad from 4Player Podcast does the same thing. Rockstar actually made an Easter egg from a YouTube video.
Slow down, Scooter Brother! Scooter Brother!
It'll be interesting to see what YouTuber Easter eggs we get in the next GTA game. If you unequip your weapons while in a vehicle and hit the shoot button, you can actually stick the finger up at people. This can make for some pretty funny reactions if you do it in the hood. Some people will actually get very offended and even shoot at you. You can find a Gone in 60 Seconds Easter egg in the mission deep inside. You can find a board where there's a list of 5 vehicles written under the black light. Deep underwater there's a hatch based off of the TV show Lost, one of my all-time favourite TV shows. If you guys remember in that show, when they first discover the hatch, the light goes on, and it does the exact same thing here when you find it. Now you can also faintly hear some knocking from the hatch, and according to IGN, the knocking sounds are actually a code for "Hey, you never call, how do you fancy some bowling?" And of course that's referencing your cousin from GTA 4. So I guess you could call this a double Easter egg. Michael's house is actually based off the TV show Sopranos, another awesome TV show. Michael's house looks like a pretty close depiction of the Tony Soprano mansion, with the huge house, the curved driveway. And not only the house, but Michael in general actually shares a bunch of references to Tony Soprano, such as watching old movies, eating from the bowl, smoking cigars, seeing the therapist, and of course all the family problems that comes with his lifestyle. Even Michael's son Jimmy is actually quite similar in a lot of ways to AJ, who is Tony Soprano's son in the TV show.
When you fall off a building with a one-handed weapon, you can freely fire that weapon until your gun is empty. Under normal circumstances, you can't do this with a two-handed weapon because it is unequipped as you start to fall. However, if just before you fall off you select a one-handed weapon with the weapon wheel, it will enable you to freely fire your two-handed weapon as you fall. This next glitch is pretty great. But to start off, for those who are unaware, if you decline to hang out with a character but then follow after them, they will get hostile.
You wanna grab a drink or something?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, then see you later. Are you following me? T, give me a break. Alright, that's enough. Just fuck off. Alright, you win.
This effect is far more interesting when you attempt to do it in water.
You trying to fuck with me, T? So, you wanna grab a drink?
Nah, it's okay.
Okay, so see you later. Can you please stop following me? Will you fuck off, T? Seriously, fuck off! Okay, your choice, funny guy.
Fuck off, Mikey! Leave me alone!
Hey, relax, homie. You bugging the fuck out.
Whether or not this works seems to depend on how rough the waves are, as sometimes the characters will just die.
Ah,
Seriously, stop the stalking. Okay, your choice, funny guy.